Dogecoin and Bitcoin just did the impossible. As you see here, unrealized gains and losses on investment securities are perhaps a good bit different than you may have imagined, but here's what they just did that is arguably impossible. Bitcoin has now bounced up higher than it did before some of the harshest regulatory framework was proposed by the Biden administration that we have ever seen. Many people, even at the top of their fields, were not expecting this to happen, including myself. I'm at the top of the Dogecoin field. The best field to be at the top of, except for maybe if you're on the NFL field and you're getting paid $30 million to run into dudes really fast, which sounds like the best job ever. Please, NFL, look, I may not be the biggest, I may not be the strongest or the fastest. I mean, I'm pretty athletic, right? But I may not be all those things. But come on, just give me a 10-day contract. Just see what happens. You know, maybe the power of Dogecoin will give me the strength to score infinity touchdowns, and then that's all we need. Because you can see right here, Dogecoin's actually bounced up along with Bitcoin, but Dogecoin and Bitcoin, they're bouncing up higher than they were before this. So if I had told you about a month ago that we're going to see the government propose increasing the capital gains tax to 40%, taxing 25% unrealized gains, what would you expect to happen? You'd expect a crash, and you wouldn't expect it to go back. Well, not only has it gone back, it's gone back even stronger. This right here could be the moment that we look back on and say, there's where the bull market started. Right there. That. It just happened. That's where the bull market started. I think there's a pretty decent chance that that's what's going to end up happening as we look back on this in the future. Take a look, though. You can see unrealized gains, losses on investment securities. There it is right there. Behold your eyes upon it. To the moon, says Todd Zolger. Matt Wallace is the GOAT, says Jose. I appreciate that, my man, Jose. Someone said, let's go, Brandon. Come on, Brandon, let's go. Let's go. Come on, we can take it. Go ahead, try to regulate us. See what happens, Biden. You can see held to maturity securities available for sale. I mean, I never really felt comfortable criticizing politicians until now, because the worst move you can possibly make is to try to go after the 50 million people in cryptocurrency. We're one of the strongest communities out there, and we're not going to take that lightly. We will attack you, and we will make sure that every single penalized thing that can happen to you, every single penalty comes across your plate. You're going to not be in office if you do that, no matter what. Doesn't matter who you are. I would be also, if a Republican did the same thing, I would be criticizing them as well. That's what makes our show different. We don't have bias. If you do bad, I'm going to criticize you. I'm going to come after you. That's right. You're gonna have a 6'3" dude, about 169 in glasses coming after you. So you better be careful out there. But you can see held to maturity securities, available for sale securities. You can see, what was that? Was that a humble brag? Yeah, sorry. I'm 6'3". Take that, Biden. I'm 6'3". But you can see, I actually am. What can I say? I'm 6'3". I'm having fun today. Held to maturity securities. You can see available for sale securities. What this chart is showing us is that a lot of people are in losses right now. Elizabeth Warren says, I want to tax unrealized gains. Joe Biden says, I want to tax unrealized gains. Even a few Republicans are now supporting unrealized gains taxes, which anyone doing that is perhaps off the rocker. And I don't use that term lightly, because all of them are 80 years old, 90 years old. They were around with the dinosaurs, and now they're trying to control the financial markets that were created by people significantly younger than them in large part. It's a different world now, and they still are living in the past, apparently. Because you can see right here, almost everyone in 2022 is in unrealized losses. A huge percentage of people, not almost everyone, but compared to the past, we have seen some of the most unrealized losses categories ever in 2022. In 2021, 2020, 2019, we saw some decent bull market territory, some of the best looking cases in the last 20 years. Now we're in extreme negative territory, and you can see in just the last 2 years, we've seen some of the worst numbers. Maybe it's starting to climb back a little bit right here, but this is based on quarter, not based on years. So you can see 2022 has just been terrible, and we're about to see what happens in 2023. Hopefully we're starting to be on the uptrend here, but what this means is that if you're going to be able to tax unrealized gains, and you could also write off unrealized losses, right? And so a lot of people are going to be able to write off these, apparently, if that's what happens. So perhaps even there'll be less taxes going to the government in this case. Pretty ridiculous, the entire idea on its face. And so we're going to continue to call it out. I mean, that's just dumb. Look at that. The chart speaks for itself. Also, the other thing to keep in mind here, everyone always says, I want to be buying stocks and cryptocurrency at the bottom. Of course you do. But then when the bottom happens, you don't buy it, right? That happens all the time. In 2018, did you buy a bunch of stocks and cryptocurrency? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe you're scared. Now, it's happening in even a bigger way than it's ever happened before. People who buy at this point in time and who have capital they've been saving up on the sidelines are going to be the ones that get very rich during the next bull cycle. Now, that's going to be hampered to some degree by the fact that the U.S. government is $30 trillion in debt. So if you live in the U.S., that's going to be hurt by some degree to that because taxes are going to have to go up. Unfortunately, some things are going to have to be cut. It's going to be a little bit of a hard time overall, but specifically with some of these sectors of the economy, stocks, cryptocurrency, especially crypto, we could see a massive, massive gain here that we've really never seen before. When you have losses of this size, the gain is going to be catapulted even more in the other direction percentage-wise. Not even close. Matt, your thumbs up. 338 watching, only 50 thumbs up. Yeah, come on. Let's see how many thumbs up we can get. I mean, let's make the thumbs up button feel absolutely and totally smashed, like a pancake. Just like me in my NFL career, smashing 300-pound NFL linemen. You don't think I can? What? I'll make it happen. I don't care how big you are, NFL lineman. I'll find a way. I'm gonna create some NFL lineman pancakes. Doge is going to $1. Changing my mind. Just the opportunity to sit down with this glorious creature, I think would be an opportunity of itself. I mean, changing your mind, buddy. I don't think I'm gonna need to do that. In fact, I'm gonna have to change. I'll sit down and change your mind. Dogecoin's not going to $1. It's going to $1 million. Why don't we do that? It's $69 at least. Coinbase CEO ponders banking futures after Silicon Valley Bank crisis. This story I thought was pretty interesting because now we have Brian Armstrong, the bald wonder, coming in and trying to save things to some degree. Good job, Brian. You're trying there. I don't know what he's going to do exactly, but he's now trying to actually create banking features of some sort. Neobank is the word they're using in this article. I don't really understand what exactly he's trying to do here, but I'll just simply say, all right, go for it. Whatever it is, I don't care. I mean, it would be much better to have people who actually understand crypto moving into the banking industry than anything else, people who are going to make the smart investments long term, as I think Brian Armstrong has shown he has a tendency to do. He's really been overall one of the best CEOs in cryptocurrency. There's a couple things he's done that I've criticized him for, and that's really true with anyone in crypto. I mean, there's always going to be criticisms, but at the end of the day, he has done a lot of things better than other people, and so that's why I do have confidence in him. If he's going to create banking features for Coinbase, I think that will be good for the crypto industry. Hey, Brian Armstrong, Coinbase, after the SVB hell over the weekend, why don't you set up Coinbase as some kind of HNW plus business neobank with the pass-through assets to community banks and treasuries as a first-class option in parallel with crypto? There we go. You heard it there from Ryan Lackey. And of course, Brian says, definitely something we've thought about. Need a few more features like outbound wires, multi-user support, etc. Non-fractional reserve banking is definitely looking more attractive right now. What are the key features you'd want? He says, a key thing will be better than bank customer service, even when things are going crazy. Something similar to how you handle Prime Today / etc. Not retail, possibly even branches and SF, NY, etc. for exceptions like FRC. In footprint, not BOA. So Ryan and Brian talking some bank terms there. Essentially, what's happening here is Brian Armstrong is trying to compete with these other banks that are, a lot of them, by the way, are extremely woke, which is hilarious. I mean, like, if you want to find a silver lining, at least the banks that are going down are woke. I mean, that's what you get. Go woke, go broke, right? I mean, actually, to be honest, I've looked into it. As fun as it would be to say, I think they went broke because they were woke, I don't actually think that's true. I think in this case, they made some bets on cryptocurrency. They did also do a lot of woke things. So, I mean, maybe somehow that was responsible. But I think it was more just so the cryptocurrency market has seen a lot of downfall, has seen a lot of harsh conditions. And so I think that's one of the primary reasons why they failed. On top of the fact, of course, you've probably already heard this already, that's an additional thing I wanted to add on that most people haven't talked about. But you've probably already heard of the fact that they were also investing in various things that are directly tied to the housing market and to interest rates. And as interest rates have increased rapidly, it has made some of their investments relatively worthless because those investments were based off of the interest rates being low for them to have value. Risky investments, most banks that are big aren't allowed to take those, but these smaller banks are allowed to take them. There's different rules in place for them. Most of the small banks have not failed, so maybe you can say their wokeness somehow made them fail, because there are other small banks that had the opportunity to invest in these things and they didn't. So maybe they're so woke that they invest in the wrong stuff. Either that, or it was just simply unfortunate bets at an unfortunate time. Maybe wokeness had nothing to do with it. I really honestly don't know. But it would be funny if it was because they were woke. A little bit more funny. And I can only say that now because people are getting their money back. So if people weren't getting their money back, we'd have to talk with a little bit more of a solemn attitude here. This is how the Fed Rug pulled banks and depositors 4 times in a row, says Gabor Gerbox. Thank you, Bo Jiden, for doing that. And by the way, I just want to be clear. If you're a Bo Jiden supporter, which I would be surprised if you are, but if you are, Trump also spent too much. Let's just be honest about it. He did. Multiple sectors where Trump could have spent less, where he could have been smarter, and he was not. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he did worse than Biden. Based on my calculations, based on in versus out, it's around 30% difference. Trump did do better in some categories significantly and only slightly better in other categories of the economy, specifically because he was able to have a little bit of a lower tax rate and similar numbers coming in terms of spending and what he was able to get done and pass through. So he did have a more efficient economy than Biden, but that's not really saying much because Biden's literally probably the worst economic handler I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't think there's ever been a president who's handled the economy as bad as Joe Biden. So even though Trump didn't do nearly as good of a job as he could have, it's still significantly better than Joe Biden. That's not even a hard bar to pass. Keep rates at near zero, but that's one of the reasons also why I think the Republican Party would be smart to move on and find a younger candidate for 2024, even though I have gotten a lot of pushback for that. At the end of the day, if you're a Republican, you should vote for whoever for the primary has the highest chance of winning in the general election based on polling data. So look at that. Make your decision wisely. If you want to vote for Trump, go for it. If you want to vote for Biden, go for it. If you want to vote for DeSantis, go for it. I mean, maybe not Biden. Maybe not that one. I mean, if you want to, I guess it's your decision, right? Hike 5% too quickly because money printing, nuked purchasing power, inflation high, emergency cut to zero COVID, plus print, plus 6 trillions, hike too slowly, keep rates at near zero for too long. You can see rates too low for too long after '08. Definitely a problem. Hike too slow, COVID cut and print 6 trillion, hike too fast to battle inflation. Pretty ridiculous how those percentages have come through, and it's made buying a home very expensive. It just simply has. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people, especially in the younger generations, are just getting to the point where they're buying a home now. And if you want to do that, well, good luck to you, because you're going to be paying pretty high interest rates on your home purchase that can make your home as much as $1,000 or more additional per month for the same exact priced home. Not even that the home prices are more expensive. Not only that, but also you're gonna have to pay more per month by a significant amount. Now you can write off interest payments, so it's not as big of a burden as it otherwise would be, especially if you're making a decent income, but still, it sucks. Someone said Trump train, baby, from Eric Dayton Jr. Now the other thing I want to expand on with that is there's really a lot of bad politicians, a lot of Republicans that are truly bad politicians. They're bad when it comes to their policies. They're bad when it comes to the way they handle themselves. A lot of Democrats, very, very, very bad. At the end of the day, only a very few people are actually polished, are actually capable of pushing policies that will make sense and make our country better. And those people need to be rewarded the most by far. And hopefully that happens. I really want to see it happen. And by the way, it would be, I will say this, it would be absolutely hilarious to watch the reactions of a lot of the, let's just put it this way, a lot of the people who are the most stuck up, the most annoying in society hate Trump. And watching stuck up, annoying people get angry and frustrated is truly hilarious. So if Trump does win, at least we'll get a pretty hilarious laugh out of watching these reactions. I mean, that's perhaps one of the best things about politics, is watching people who are very annoying and stuck up get very, very, very upset and react in an emotional way. It's just glorious. I mean, it's beautiful to see, and politics gives you a lot of that. So if you're interested in watching those things, then you came to the right place. If you're coming to politics, Take America Back, says Joseph Rao. At the end of the day, the only thing that can take America back is simply being smarter with spending. I mean, that's the most important thing. Every single other thing will fall into place if that is being done right. Literally everything else. Foreign policy will fall into place better. The economy, medical stuff fall into place better. Everything will fall into place better just from that one thing. Someone said, yeah, a lot of Trump hype in the chat. Someone said Doge clan from KSUBIFEEN. Dogecoin indeed. I'll be happy when Doge hits 420. Yeah, that's going to be a good day. Well, what do you want to see more? Dogecoin hitting 420 or Dogecoin hitting one? I mean, I guess that's a dumb question. I don't even know. Obviously, the higher one will be more fun. Of course. What's even the point? Well, that was a dumb question that I was thinking about asking. I didn't ask it, though. So you can't blame me. Someone said, sounds like you're going to vote for Trump, says I, Davenport. You know what? I'll just say it this way. I will vote for whoever has the best economic policy. I don't care what their name is. I don't care who they are. I will vote for the person who's going to do the best job on that, because That's really the only important role of the federal government. Everything else is just drama and antics. There's a couple other things, foreign policy, for example, that they do that's important-ish. But the only truly important thing the federal government specifically does. Now, state governments, you can have a different argument, right? But federal government specifically, the economy. So whoever has the best economic policy, regardless of anything else, I'll vote for that person. I also am hoping it's going to be someone who's younger. I want someone who's going to be able to relate to the younger generations more. And if that's possible, that there can be the best economic person and also they can be young, that's going to be who I'm going to vote for. But we'll wait and see. I could change my mind. There's a lot of different factors at play, and I'm perfectly willing to change my mind if new information comes in front of me. Anyway, I'm Wallace. This is Final Stand, and I'll see you in the next video.